What's up, guys? I wanted to make a video talking about why you are never going to be ready, and that's why you should start now. And this is because a lot of us dudes think that there's gonna be a perfect circumstance, a perfect start, a perfect moment to do everything right the first time you just start. A divine signal from God himself telling you that, oh, you should start right now. And I'm here to tell you that you're gonna be waiting until the end of time if you follow that method. I hope you guys do know that, right? That a lot of successful men that made their moves, that made it to the top, a lot of successful men didn't set up here and wait until some divine signal told them to start. Something told them to start. They didn't wait until they had the knowledge, the experience, everything to start. They just did. I hope you guys do know that, right? I hope you guys aren't that stupid to believe that, oh, they just made it to the top because they were gifted, they had a good start, they had whatever that made it to the top. I hope you guys do know that, right? And the truth is, right? The truth is that every time you do wait, every time you do sit up here and second guess yourself, every time you wait a month later to start and you made a year later to start, you could have started the first time you thought about it. You could have started the first time it came into your mind. Imagine how far you could have been, the life you could have lived, everything. Imagine where you would be, essentially, right? Let that sink in, right? Every time you wait, that day that you could have been where you wanted to be could have been a lot sooner if you had just made that move the moment you thought about it. So in this video, right, I made 3 hard truths, or in this video, like I said, 3 different points, right, that will break down reality for you guys and girls, right, and women, if you guys are watching this video, right, so that you guys can actually make the moves necessary to achieve the lifestyle, to achieve any kind of goal that you're looking for. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, guys, first point. Readiness is an illusion. Action creates clarity and reality. I'm gonna say that again for those in the back. Readiness is an illusion. Action creates clarity and reality. A lot of us fall into this habit of thinking that, oh, I'm going to make the move when I have the knowledge and experience, when I have the right amount of knowledge and experience, whatever the hell that means, right? When I have whatever that will enable me to make that move. But unfortunately for those kind of people, right, confidence, right, and competence are a product of action, right? They are not separate from each other. They are together, right? They go hand in hand. And that's exactly how you're going to gain that knowledge and competence and confidence if you take the action. Because at the end of the day, right, think about it. Whenever you first made that first action, like let's just say that whenever I first went to the gym, like, did I feel like I was in control? Did I feel like I knew what I was doing? Did I feel like I was ready to go to the gym? Hell no. When I first talked to a woman, right, did you know the right words to say? Were you experienced? Were you knowledgeable? Were you just confident? Probably not, right? But you made that moves anyway, or at least you probably should have made those moves if you had the guts, right? If you're a man, if you had the nuts to make that move, right? And I hope you guys do know this, right? But like, the more you wait, right, the more you choose to hesitate. You just allow doubt to creep into your mind. You allow fear to gain more ground. The more you hesitate, the more you wait, the more you think about stuff, you allow your mind to fabricate excuses about why you shouldn't make the move. And the worst part is that those excuses too are very convincing. They make a lot of sense, at least to you and to anybody that would probably listen in on those excuses. If you were to tell them, they make a lot of sense. And that's exactly why you end up not making the move to begin with. It's action, right? Action isn't just about progress. It's also about control of your life. The more I wait, the more I choose to allow the doubt and fear to creep into my mind. They gain control of me, and I lose more control of my life. I allow myself to stay in comfort because I'm too afraid to take that first step forward and let my nuts hang, essentially, right? I'm too afraid to make that move, and I allow doubt and fear to creep into my mind. And before you know it, I ain't making no moves, right? Before you know it, I'm surrendering my control over my life to feelings, to figments of my imagination. Isn't that crazy? Shouldn't that not bother you? And the worst part is that when you look back in like history, especially like ancient times, like warriors, leaders, conquerors, and even today's age, but I think ancient times are like a more literal, foolproof example. Like, if I'm trying to conquer land, like Alexander the Great, he didn't have the certainty that he was going to conquer land. He didn't know he was going to live to see another day. He just did, and he was really successful at it. His boldness, his control over his life and over his kingdom and empire, allowed him to take control over his life. And the thing is that, let's be real, like if you're trying to take risk, it's not meant for the weak, right? It's not meant for the weak in that aspect where if I'm taking a risk, I could lose it all, right? I could lose my life. Or in this case, like for Alexander the Great, I could lose my life. I could lose my will to live. I could lose my soldiers. I could lose everything, right? But I could lose that, or I could gain it all, right? That's like the most extreme and literal example. And in today's age, where it's more comfortable, where you know what I'm saying, in today's age, I can take the risk, and it ain't even as bad as it was back then. I take the risk, I fail, I'm still living, I still have my bread, I still have myself. It ain't even as bad as it is back then. At least they had a better excuse. And Alexander the Great, he did all those things, right? He made his kingdom because he was very certain about what he wanted, took bold risks, took bold actions, and actually made it to where he needed to the life he wanted to live, to the kingdom he wanted to create. And that could be you. So guys, if you're standing at that edge of that cliff, right, wondering if you should make this challenge or not, I'm gonna answer that question for you, right? No, you're not ready, right? You're obviously not ready. But after you make that first move, after you start, you will be ready to keep going. That'll prove to you that you are ready. Because inherently you aren't ready to make that challenge if you haven't made that first step. But you answer that question for yourself once you make that first step. You prove to yourself that you are ready after you've made that first step. Okay guys, number 2, right? And I'm gonna say this 2 times, like the number 2, so that you guys can get it. Perfectionism is fear disguised. I'm gonna say that again. Perfectionism is fear disguised, right? Let that sink in. I want you guys to formulate your own thoughts, because I feel like you guys already know what I mean by that. But I'm about to go and dive right in deep to it, right? But let that sink in. Think about it for a little second, okay? Pause the video and just think about it. Okay, you see, a lot of people like to think that, oh, I need more research. Oh, I need more experience. Oh, I need more mentors. Oh, I need this. I need that. I need this. I need to have this perfect everything, this perfect blueprint, so that when I start, I'm on a fast track to success. That's what a lot of people think. Men, women, white, yellow, brown. That's what a lot of people think. But at the end of the day, I'm here to tell you that that's all wrong. All you need is just movement, right? All you need is just action. At the end of the day, perfectionism, right, is low-key disguised as fear, right? Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of me being unable to do this, fear of me, whatever the fear of whatever the fear is going to be. At the end of the day, it's all deeply rooted in fear. And a lot of people like to hide it behind research, behind whatever, to make them feel better about themselves. And most of that is quite literally all about perfectionism, where I need to be perfect, where I need to make sure I have everything I need to make that first move, not understanding that when I make that first move, it's not gonna go all according to plan. And that's where perfectionism just falls apart, because when you're trying to be successful, it isn't a one-track method. That mentor isn't always gonna be there. That mentor, what could work today could be different tomorrow, right? And life is just gonna throw you challenges that you weren't expecting. It's all random, and being perfect is just a myth. And that's where it all falls apart. Life is random. It's gonna throw you hurdles, wrenches in your plans, and before you know it, all that research that you did was meaningless, right? Sure, you can have research to a certain point, but to have research to a point where there's no way I can fail, to a point where you feel as if you are perfect, it's just not realistic, and it's foolish. And guys, once again, think about all these great men who have built empires, all these females or women who have made names for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They didn't wait for that perfect moment. They just took the opportunity, and before you know it, they were up there. And the thing is that it don't really take as long as you guys make it out to be. It don't take years. For you know, it could take you 5 months, and before you know it, you've made it. You're successful. You don't have to keep doing this, but you're probably going to do it anyway, because success is an addiction. And that's what's great about starting. At the end of the day, waiting for that perfect moment, waiting for that perfect start, all it guarantees is just missed opportunities. And that's why you should always start now, so that you can maximize your opportunities and not miss any single one of them. Once again, guys, not once again, but here's something to remember though. Like, the more you wait as well, you're training yourself to believe in hesitation. Like, you're training yourself to have more fear, to have hesitation, to feel as if hesitation is exactly the path you should always take. The more you wait, you're training yourself to allow that doubt and fear to creep into your mind. You're training yourself to believe in those fear and doubts. Meanwhile, whereas the more I take action, I'm training myself to be more bold. I'm training myself to be more brave. I'm training myself to be more adaptable to any environment or situation, to have the skills that I need. I'm training myself to be ready at all times. Isn't that more of a positive thing than me waiting? You're always training your brain, essentially, right? You're always training your brain at every opportunity. And you can train your brain right now if you start taking action, if you start doing skills that you never thought you could do because you wanted that perfect moment, or wherever the case could be outside of this video. Perfectionism, right? Perfectionism is a slow death, right? You're slowly killing yourself. You're slowly, you know what I'm saying? Before you know it, because I've waited so long for that perfect moment, for that research that I needed, for that mentor that I wanted, I'm already old. I can't make the moves that I wanted to make. The opportunity has passed by even. You know what I'm saying? Perfectionism is a form of slow death. Like, it's stagnation, in other words, right? All you're doing is missing opportunities. You're allowing yourself to stagnate, and stagnation kills your potential, right? That's the fastest way to die out, to cure potential easily. So guys, I want you guys to do this thing right now. Shift your mindset from perfectionism to I will improve as I progress. I will improve as I progress. I will improve as I make my results. I'll improve the more I learn about the things that I'm trying to achieve, the more I'm learning about whatever goals that I'm trying to get. I will improve as I go, because perfectionism is a myth. It's always been a myth, and you guys should know that. No shade, but if you're like an adult, you guys should know that perfection is a myth. You guys don't need to watch a TV show to see that perfection is a myth. You guys should just have this common sense to see that. So this new mindset should be, I will improve as I go, and before you know it, I have the results that beat it out perfectionism. Because if you're perfect, think about it, if you're perfect, you would have already been at the top. You would have already had made it at the top. You would have already had that lifestyle, that goal, whatever the case may be, that skill, that woman that you were trying to get. You would have already had her, but you hadn't. So that inherently disproves perfectionism. And results will always be theoretical perfection. All right, guys, final point, right? And this is the most important point. I feel like this point should be the one that gets you to start making moves now. And it's really simple. Time is passing every single day when you don't act. I'm gonna say that again. Time is passing every single day when you don't act. So guys, here's a reality check, right? Time passes. Newsflash, time passes, right? I'm not sure if you guys were born yesterday, but time flashes, right? It will never stop. It will always keep going and going and going, right? So whether you start today or you keep procrastinating, before you know it, it's already yesterday. Before you know it, it's a year ago. Before you know it, it's decades, right? Every time you wait, it's a moment wasted. That moment could have been the moment that changed everything, right? Imagine you're in heaven and God is telling you that this is the moment, right? This is the moment that changed your life. This is the moment where you decided to stop being a coward, where you decided to let your nuts hang and finally change the trajectory of your life forever, right? Guys, think about the people that you admire, right? Think about the people that you want to be like, right? They didn't have any special powers or any mystical advantages than you. They didn't have anything better than you had. They had the same amount of time. They had the same body that you had. They had the same amount of hours, seconds of each day. They just used their time better than you. And before you know it, they became someone great. That's all it is. Before they understood that if I work now, I'm going to make something more profound tomorrow. That's all they understood. And they decided to use their time better as soon as they had that mindset, as soon as that moment of their mind thought something like that. I want you guys to think about 10 or 20 years from now, when you're looking back at the years that you had, right? When you're looking back at your prime self, when you were young, full of potential and rage. I want you guys to think about that and understand that, damn, I wasted my prime years where I could have made something myself, which could have been done in 5 months. I hope you know that. Success isn't as long as you guys think it should take. I wasted my prime years. I wasted myself when I was at my best, all because of the fact that I had no guts, I had no nuts. You know what I'm saying? That potential is wasted. You cannot get back. Regret is a heavy burden, right? Regret is a heavier burden than not taking action, right? At least I can take action and feel and live with the fact that I tried, and that there was probably no other way that I could have been successful. But regret knowing that you could have taken action and you never know the outcome of that action, that has got to sink like a stone falling from the sky. Guys, think about the times where you said, "Oh, I'll start right away," or "I'll start the moment this time comes," and when it does, you guys never started. You guys made up some excuse that you believed in, that made sense to you, and just the cycle repeated again and again. Think about where you would be the very first time. Like, it goes back to the earlier point of view. The very first time that you thought about it, think about where you would be. Think about where you would be right now. I'm telling you right now, that the first time you considered it and you were consistent, you did it every day, or you did it enough times, look at where you would be as of now. Think about where you would be as of now, all because you started. Think about it. In the end, guys, time is the most unforgiving force. Time does not care if you're afraid. Time does not care when you will do it. It will just keep moving. You don't have any more time than the next guy. You don't have any more time than the person before you. The question is, will you take action? Will you move with time? Will you make the move with time? Or will you keep waiting forever and ever, like a loser with no nuts, no ball sacks? So guys, I hope you guys understand from this video, right, that you are not going to have a perfect start. You are not going to have that understanding of what to do. The whole point of being successful is that you took the action, you took the hits when you thought you made the right choice, when you thought it was this way, when it was instead that way, right? You took the hits, you adjusted, and you keep moving. You didn't overthink. You just kept moving until you finally made it, right? And that's the whole point of taking action, right, guys? All right, guys, I'm out, and remember to subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. On Instagram and YouTube, I'll be dropping a lot more content, and TikTok. Remember to follow me on TikTok. I'll be dropping more nuggets of information that should help you guys if you're trying to be successful, or if you guys are trying to achieve whatever goals you have in mind, right? Remember to follow me on those platforms, and I'll catch you guys another time.